In an hour from when this video goes live, I will be playing in the Rorcalos Championship Series Master Duel Tournament. Majority of you voted for Purrely, so I will be playing that in the tournament. This means we can cover 8 Axis right now. 8 Axis is a going second deck where we plan on breaking our opponent's board and then summoning high attack monsters to OTK them. You might be wondering why we only play 2 spells. This is because we are playing Sekka's Light. Sekka's Light is a very powerful spell that will let us draw 3 cards in one turn. The only downside is we can only activate copies of Sekka's Light as our spell or trap for the whole duel, so the rest of the deck will be monsters. So let's go over the different parts of the deck. First we have our normal summons. These are Diva and Denko Sekka. Diva is our level 2 tuner. On normal summon, it can summon another copy of itself from the deck. This enables us to go into our Synchro 10s like Barone, or overlay into Ninja Shadow Mosquito. Denko Sekka on the other hand prevents both players from setting or activating set spells or traps, so this will be perfect against Labrynth. Denko is just one of my favorite cards because it allows me to create amazing moments just like this one.
But looks like this is a non-Runick sprite board here, setting up the red and the carrot, and Meep going for the Thunder Dragon Dark in the end step there. Meep also looking like on a 50 card deck, and wow, that's a big blowout to start. No, what? What is this combination? Dark Ruler no more, normal summon Denko Sekka. Nothing on Daorshi's side of the field can be activated, unless Daorshi has hand traps to be used from the hand. I mean...
If you want to see the rest of that tournament feature match, I'll leave the link in the description below. Now, back to the deck. The rest of the monsters are able to special summon themselves. Most of them are level 8, which will let us go into our rank 8s or into our Synchro 10. Finally, we have Astral Kuriboh that can special summon itself and then change its level to 7 or 8 depending on what you need. Also, the monster that you overlay into cannot be destroyed by card effects, just like IP Masquerena, but for Xyz monsters. That covers the 30 card core of the deck. With 10 more slots open, let's talk about hand traps. Here are the most relevant 19 hand traps that I could think of that we can add in this deck. According to Master Duel Meta, there are currently 5 top decks in Master Duel. These are Purrely, Dragon Link, Labrynth, Branded, and SwordSoul. With that said, let me share what I think the best 6 hand traps are against each of those top 5 decks. First is Purrely. DD Crow banishes one of their quick play spells, and we usually will aim for Delicious Memory after Purrely targets it from grave. Joel can stop them from drawing additional cards if they draw a card outside of the draw phase. Kurikara can tribute any of their monsters on the field that activated their effect this turn, so goodbye Noir. Max C, yep, we can summon Flying Sea to their field to prevent them from Xyz summoning. Unless they have Book of Moon or tribute over it with like a Bestial, they are forever locked. Shifter will simply banish all of their quick play spells and anything they discard for effect. Next up is Dragon Link. It shares several of the hand trap weaknesses as Purrely. I added Gamma and Nibiru. For those two, it's really hard to say exactly when to use them. Generally, you want to activate them after they've committed to the board and just before they get the negates up. Labrynth is one of our harder matchups, but this is only true if we do not open with Denko Sekka. If we do, their trap cards are locked. We want to use DD Crow to banish Lovely or Big Welcome from the grave. Kurikara can tribute their monsters that activated their effect, then we can easily OTK them. Maxi is only good on our turn. If you use Maxi on turn 1 in the draw phase against Labrynth, we just hand looped ourselves for 1. Ash can negate either of the welcome traps or Ariana. Ghost Mourner is pretty much our imperm, but only right after a monster special summoned, so we want to use this to negate Lovely Lady or Ariana. Sarabas can negate an effect that targets one of our monsters, so we can negate Big Welcome's bounce effect or cards like Compulse or Dogmatic of Punishment. Again, if we draw a Denko Sekka, we just win. For Branded, I think most of this is self-explanatory, like we still want to Ash Branded Fusion. But the main thing is, with all the changes that Branded has gone through, most of their plays now revolve around the grave. So if we can get Shifter to resolve, it's most likely an easy win for us. Finally, we have SwordSoul, who want to negate and destroy Moye with Gamma. We can also Veiler Moye, but that only negates the token summon effect. If they still have ways to synchro with Moye, then they will still get a free draw. Duel will stop them at 2 draws if they go on the usual route of Moye into Shishao and then adding Longyuan. And then on their 5th summon, we can drop Nibiru on them before they can get a negate up. Now that we've gone over the top 5 decks and the hand traps to counter them, this is what I am currently playing. I have 2 Crows, 2 Drolls, 1 Kurikara, 2 Maxis, 1 Ghost Mourner, and 2 Dimension Shifters. I think this is fine since we don't really want to open with the same hand traps, we want to have as many different interruptions as possible. Since we have covered everything that we need to know, let's go over my replays against Runick Stun, DDD, and one of my Conquest duels versus Hexlex that we did on her Twitch stream a few days ago. This is the Runick Stun replay. To avoid getting talented, I use Maxi in the draw phase. However, they just chain freezing curses to summon Hugin, so we just -1 ourselves. Activate Hugin to discard Cosmic to search out Fountain, but I negate that with Ghost Mourner. Now because they're Runick stunned, they're going to draw their whole deck, searching for Fountain or Tip. And they found it, so now they pass. Since I didn't set anything, they probably have 3 Runick spells. I draw into Sekka's Light, so now it's our turn to draw cards. I give them Gamma Seal, and then we get to summon Alpha and Limit Dragon. I banish Sekka from the grave to reveal Maxi, shuffle Maxi back, and draw 1 card. I overlay into Hope Harbinger, summon Orochi and Godarla. Now we overlay into Draglubion. They try to bait us with Storm, but obviously I'm waiting for Fountain to trigger. The Fountain activates, and then I respond with Hope Harbinger. They negate Hope Harbinger with Freezing Curses. So they get to draw 2 cards, and they have 3 outs, which are Tip, Destruction, and Slumber. I activate Draglubion to summon our 17,000 attack Numeron Dragon, but they ran away. Recently, I have noticed that Maxi has been glued to my hand, which is a nice change since it's usually Garnets like Driver or Deer Note that brick my hand. Again, I used it in the draw phase, and since it's DDD, they just passed. I start by special summoning Fenrir to try to bait out Ash, and we succeeded. Now I can use Pot of Greed, and then we found our normal summon. Normal Denko, banish Sekka's Light to reveal Shifter, and shuffle it to draw Thunderbird. Bird effect to discard the Kaiju, and summon itself to draw a card. We move to battle, we attack with our 3 monsters, and then just finish them off with Orochi. Wasn't that quick? This duel is part of the Conquest match I had with Hexlex on her stream a few days ago. They knew that in this duel I would be playing 8 Axis, so they made me go first. Unfortunately for them, my hand was insane. On their draw, I activate hand traps in this order. First Shifter, to see if they have any responses, and then follow it up with Maxi. As we can see from their hand, they didn't have any responses. This puts them in a difficult situation because they know that I'm on an OTK deck. So they wouldn't have a choice but to play into my Maxi while everything gets banished. So here we get to draw 4 cards, and then they will end on Shishao, Taya, and a set Blackout. But again, we already have the perfect out to all of that. First, we tribute away their Shishao. Then follow that up with Denko. Now we can do whatever we want. I summoned Alpha for a second time, and now it can't attack directly. Follow that up with Orochi and Bigfoot. If we missed Bigfoot, we could have just gone into Draglubion and Numeron Dragon, but since we didn't, we have Lethal on board, and the game is over. So with that, we've covered our 30 card core, the best 6 hand traps for the current top 5 decks in Master Duel, what my build looks like, how to win with XZs, flooding the board with monsters, and what we do if we are forced to go first. I did it in this order so you can build a version that makes sense for your rank and the meta you are playing against. Let me know what you think of this deck and video format, and if you want to see a video of me just going through all the different hand traps and talking about if they are worth playing. This video is part of my 1 week of daily videos, so I hope you come back tomorrow for my tournament recap. Thanks for watching, until next time.